Hello, I'm Chanel. This is Spirited Stardust, and today I'm doing the 54321 Tarot, which is a VR to Kelly Bear. I'll link her down below. I was tagged by Meg from Rose Honey Ritual. Thanks, doll. So I'll be doing this tag, and I've just knocked the thing. I apologize. So this has a multiple set of prompts, so I'll also include that down below. And we're starting off with 5 tarot decks. So I was trying to think, what kind of 5 theme am I going to go with? And I thought, I'm going to go with 5 of my cat decks, because that's how many cat decks I have, 5. So some of these are my kids, they stole them, and that's why I bought more, because Mama needed a cat deck as well. So I'm going to show you the ones my kids stole first. So first up, we've got Cat Tarot by Megan Lincott. I think this box is super cute. You can see like a little cat peeking out on either side, and I thought that was adorbs, especially for a mass market deck. So you've got a little guide book, which is simple, but it's very cat sort of focused, but it's very simple so my kids still understand it. These are the backs of the decks. They've got all the little glyphs and pictures, and it's very simple, but it brings me a lot of joy. And I'm probably too high up. Let's take it down low. I just see already I'm laughing. I don't know why, but it makes me happy. It gives me the giggles. I think it's great. I don't particularly love the art style in this one, like the very watercolory pictures. I don't not like them. It's just not my favorite style of art, but I find a lot of humor in this deck. I must say my kids do have trouble finding which cards are the non major arcana, because they don't do Roman numerals, so that is a bit tricky. So this is a deck that I will whip out if I want to be cheered up, man, because the sass, and I love they did the golden retriever as the devil. Poor dude. But I really love it. It's got a vast representations of different types of cats. I think they encapsulated the energy. Sorry, I got distracted by my cat Willow, so I don't know what I was saying, but this is a really fun one, and like I said, for a mass market deck, it's pretty good, except, the symbols, you're going to have to take some time knowing, like, that's wands, it's not super intuitive in that way. That one is, though, that's cups. You can easily get that from the picture as well, but this was a really good mass market deck if you like kitty cats. The next one I have is the Cute Cat Tarot. So this one is an indie deck. Out you go. It's got a hollow on the sides. It's got the fancy gilding. Those are the backs. This is the guidebook. It is full color and gloss. The write-ups are very basic, so they're not like super in-depth, but once again, it's for kids. I think you got to keep it simple so they don't get overwhelmed. This is cute. This is more like kawaii, more animated sort of style, more cartoonish. Oh no. Off you go. There's Willow cat on the cat decks. My eldest claimed this deck. She just liked the softer pastel colors, and this one has a very gentle vibe. It's still really cute. I don't find this one funny like I do the other deck. The other deck makes me lol, which you heard. I couldn't help but chuckle as soon as I used it. So this one isn't as humorous, but it's still really tame. It's pretty cute. It's, not scary, not confronting. And my eldest really liked this one, so she claimed it for herself. I don't really pull this one out at all, to be honest, because also my eldest daughter is very particular about her things, even though they are things that I have purchased for her. Once they're given to her, she does not let anybody really touch them. So it's just not worth the trouble for me to ask, hey, can Mummy play with that deck? It's just not worth it. So she's not here. That's also why I'm using it. Don't tell her. I'm scared of my 12-year-old. If anybody has tweens, if you have a tween girl, then you know what I'm talking about. So this is this deck. And here we have another deck that my youngest ended up taking from me, but to be honest, I wasn't really using it that much. It sort of was sitting unused in my collection. So it's Catland. It's an indie deck. It's got a little sentence and then a little keywords and a brief description. So I edged mine in purple. And I was tending to only use this, oh my gosh, words escape me. I was only using this really during spooky season. So pretty much October, I would whip it out. So I thought, well, it's only getting taken out once a month, whereas my kiddo just likes to look at the pictures. She does not look up any of the meanings, the youngest one, whatsoever. She just likes looking at the pictures of cats. It is sweet. It's got that creepiness to it though. There's a bit more of a darker edge. That's why I was using it as a Halloween deck, because a lot of these cats look hella grumpy and some of them look real sus. But I do like the keywords that were in this one. Some of the meanings were really interesting and I did enjoy using it. I just never had a very strong connection to it personally. Like I wasn't really wanting to pull it out, like I said, at any other time except Halloween, which is why I passed it on. I always got this card. This was my stalker card in this one, Electric Rainbow. And you're probably thinking like, what does that even mean? So some of them, like I said, I would have to keep going to the guidebook because I didn't know. This one is light comes in all colors and it's diversity, acceptance, and unity. And for some reason, that isn't the first thing I think of when I think of Electric Rainbow. This reminds me of like Miami Vice. Is anybody else getting that from this? That's what that reminds me of. But yeah, so this is another cat deck. I love that little soot ball. That's from, is it Spirited Away? I feel like it's that one in my collection. Okay, so up next we have a really cute one. This came in the cutest little fast food nugget box food tray. This is the Kitten Nugget Tarot. That's a kitten in his sauce. It's full color and it's got upright and reverse, and then it's got the write-ups. It also has extra cards which are not part of the regular tarot. This is an indie deck. It has the hollow on it. It's got foiling on the back. This is just so much fun. This is a real fun, light-hearted deck, but it still reads really well for me. It's got, once again, a very animated sort of style. It could totally be a cartoon show that, you know, I could have watched as a kid with these nugget cats, because they're kitten nuggets, just going out and living their lives. This one sometimes makes me laugh, but like I said, the real humorous one was that first Cats deck. That just makes me guffaw. But this one still, it makes me happy. I love the different borders, the colors. Like I'm not normally a border person, but I think it works in this deck, and I like that they're all different colors. It's like I said, not confronting again. Once again, it's a very like sort of gentle deck, but I have used it quite a bit more than I thought that I would. I thought it would just be a bit of a kitschy sort of thing to have, more of a novelty deck rather than a deck that I actually utilized. But surprise, surprise, I actually do pull it out and use it. So it was surprising, I guess, in that way, where I really just bought it because I thought, oh, it's cute, it's kitschy, it's got a little quirky theme. I'm just going to get it for the start, you know what I mean, for like the vibes of it. But no, I actually do use it. Both of my kids wanted to take this one immediately, and I'm like, no, mummy's got to put her foot down. I mean, this one's mine. You girls already have cat decks. One of you's got 2 cat decks, and no, the answer is no. You can come and use it if you want, but I'm keeping this one in my room, and that's just the way it is. So I did manage to keep hold of this one, and you know what too? Once again, I don't normally like primary colors altogether. For some reason, it just is too much for me, but in this deck, I don't mind it. No, yeah, put red, blue, and yellow together. That's fine. Like, I'll accept it. So this was the Kitten Nugget Tarot. This is my last cat deck, so excuse the cat hair all over my cat bag. So I got this cat bag because it came as an add-on with the deck, and I actually do like it. My kids got the purple one's own. To be honest, I wish I got the purple sun cat one, but they took that one. So this is Witch Cats. So this is a deck that doesn't have a guidebook because the message is on the other side. They're little squares. All of the cats have different names. I love the cat names. I'm like, what's your name? Emmy Wink. What's your name? Pixie Puff. Like, super adorbs. And then obviously the keyword is sort of like up above of what this card is actually about. But I've ended up using this as a desk deck, which means it's a deck that I sometimes just want to randomly pull a card for the day from. I just want to read the message. I do like the messages. They're not like super divinatory. It's more just, I don't know, it's just some guidance or something to ponder and chew on, you know, during the day. But I really like the way they're written. There's so many cards, which is fabulous. The more, the merrier for me. I love the illustrations. This creator had another one, I think it was Spirit Cats, and I was like, do I get it? Do I get it? And there was just something holding me back, and I couldn't tell what it is because I loved the illustrations and the messages. And then she launched her Witch Cats deck, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. If I can get a witch one, I'm going to get a witch one. So I did. I've been thinking about getting the other one and just combining them to have a mega deck. I may do that. I may do that one day. You know, it's not something that I am against. It's always in my liked list on Etsy. So I might go ahead and do that one day. But at the moment, this Witch Cats is absolutely satisfying my itch for pulling a beautiful cat to, you know, be sort of my familiar for the day. That's kind of how I use it. And yeah, I have a lot of fun. The little picture that it came with a little card, and I framed it and gave it to my daughter, and it's one of her most prized possessions. And she has it next to her bed because it also reminds her of our black cat, Nova. So I kind of did want it for myself as well. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard sometimes when you're a parent. You know, it's like, I really did want to keep that picture, but I'm like, my kitty's going to get even more joy from it. And she does, as much as, you know, I would have liked looking at it every day on my bedside. She just exudes exuberance and constantly picks it up and holds it and gazes upon it and likes to tell me about it all the time. Mummy, look at this picture. Isn't it beautiful? Doesn't it look like Nova? And I'm like, yes, it does, baby. So, you know, I don't regret giving it to her, but I did keep the coin though. Oh, it was so hard. It was so my kids, their eyes lit up. They did. They were like, ooh, gold for me. And like, no gold for either of you. I'm very sorry, but Mama is keeping her yes, no coin. So sometimes I'm selfish. Sometimes I'm generous. I think you just got to strike that balance, right? But yeah, this is the final cat deck that I am showing you today. This is the Harry Potter one. Like, it is the Harry Potter one. Glimfeder Practicum. Like, it is. And we both know where she got her inspiration for that particular kitty. But, oh, this one's beautiful too. Oh, it goes with a nail polish. What a vibe. What's your name? You can be my cat today. Solace. And it's Isis. This is Isis. So I'll read you later, Isis. Okay, so the next prompt is books. Bookie Wookies. So I haven't read a lot of tarot books. And that's because my library doesn't have a lot of tarot books. And I'm not really sure which ones I'd want to request. I used to work there, and it's like, I don't want to just request any book and it's not great. I want to make sure I'm actually adding value to the collection, you know, so I haven't read a lot. I would say that if you are an absolute beginner, one that I did read that I thought was decent is The Only Tarot Book You'll Ever Need by Sky Alexander. Is it amazing? No. But is it very basic and easy to understand in an accessible way? Yes. So I think if you're starting out, go for just really basic, non-opinionated stuff, I think. So it's not too confusing. To be honest, there's lots of great resources online. There's lots of great sites that really break it down as well. So you could also go to them because that's what I also did. But otherwise, the other books that I have read that I've enjoyed, this one is Wildcard. So I did actually purchase this, and I don't normally purchase books, but I wanted to have this one on hand because I liked their opinions on the cards. So they go through, you know, each card, and it's a decent amount. They've got questions too and prompts down the bottom. And I just liked the voice of the author and, like I said, how they viewed the cards. So sometimes in the beginning when I really didn't know tarot super well, because I'm still a newbie, I think it's only been a year and a half or something like that. When I wanted to start getting tarot decks that didn't have guidebooks that came with them, I bought this. And I thought, well, I can look it up in here. Once I have now memorized tarot and I know what the cards mean, I don't really use this book as much because it has its own personality. And like, for instance, I wouldn't use this book to read meanings for the Holy Spectrum Tarot. It's just not a match. But sometimes it does work. Sometimes, like, say if I'm reading for another person and I want to like give them more of an overview of contemporary examples too of what that tarot card means. Like, for instance, I think the Knight of Pentacles, they used Cher and her quote of, "But Mom, I am a rich man." And just her personality and everything to epitomize what, you know, the Nine of Pentacles is. I'll use this book and I'll bring it out and I'll read to them from that. Because sometimes too, I'm not great reading for others. I'm really not. I've been trying in my videos, in my walkthrough videos, to do verbal readings, but I struggle to put into words all of the thoughts that are going through my head, because I'm thinking like multiple things at the same time. Like my thoughts are layered, and to try and piece them into separate, distinct sentences is really difficult. But then if I write it down and then I speak it out, I sound very, very stilted. So what I tend to do is I will sort of go off the cuff, and if I feel like I need to add more, then I will like quickly write dot points and expand upon it. But when I'm giving a reading in person, I do like to have this book on hand, so that way I can read that out, and that gives me a chance to like also sit with my instincts of what the cards meant, and then I can give a bit more of a personalized reading. I can't just go straight out the gate immediately as soon as I put them down, tell them what I think it means. I need that space to process my own thoughts and try and make them coherent and to speak them out loud. So this is a book that I do like. I also really enjoyed What the Fuck is Tarot and How Do I Do It by Bakara Wintner. Once again, I really liked her personality. So I do tend to prefer to read tarot books that are more individual and personalized rather than teaching you like the facts and the basics and these are the associations and yada, yada, yada. This is a history. I kind of just want to hear other people's flavor, their spins. How does this relate to them? What do they get from that? Because I think that just broadens my own perspective, and it gives me different facets and angles and perspectives on the card and what it could mean, rather than just sticking to sort of the more generalized meaning and understanding of the tarot based on its traditional meanings. So I like spins. Like another book that I am going to read. So this is a fiction book that I've put on hold from my library. So this is called Delphi by Claire Pollard, and it's supposedly, I'm just going to read the blurb from the Goodreads because I haven't read it and therefore I can't summarize it because I don't know what it's about. This has multiple covers, so I'll show you all of the covers that this book comes in. My personal favorite, I gotta say, is the Wilted Tulips one. Let me know which was your favorite cover for this book. So this book is a debut about a classics professor immersed in research for a new book on a prophecy in the ancient world who confronts chilling questions about her own life just as a pandemic descends. COVID-19, oh God. Okay, I'm like this with pandemic books, but we'll see. Has arrived in London, the whole world succumbs to the surreal, chaotic mundanity of screens, isolation, and disasters big and small that have plagued history. As our unnamed narrator, a classics professor, navigates the tightening grip of lockdown, a marriage in crisis, and a 10-year-old who seems increasingly unreachable, she becomes obsessed with predicting the future, shifting her focus from chiromancy, prophecy by palm reading, to zoomancy, prophecy by animal behavior, to enomancy, prophecy by wine. She fails to notice the future creeping in the heart of her own home. When she finally does, the threat has breached the gates. So this one doesn't mention tarot, but my library in their synopsis mentioned tarot and cartomancy. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, because I looked up like books that have tarot in them and it came up. So we'll see what that's like, but it's like a tarot book. It might be a dud, but I thought I'd pop a fiction one in there. Haven't read it, but yes, it does include that as a topic. Okay, so now we are going on to three spreads, and I will start by the one that I use the most, which is the deck interview, which I kind of just took pieces I'd seen in other deck interview spreads and made my own one that was the most applicable for me. So it's 4 cards, as you can see. It is what card represents you as a deck, so I can get a feel of how that deck sees itself and what that deck's energy is. Which card represents me? Because I like to see like, from our brief, time together and me laying my hands on you, how do I appear to you? What of my qualities stands out to you the most? Then I ask, what are you here to teach me? And I find that is like the most like telling one for me, what I'm going to get from that deck. And then what message do you have for me currently? Because I just, I want to give the deck a chance to just like, hey, I've got this message for you right now. So that's my favorite deck interview spread. I always do it whenever I get a new deck. After I've gone through all the cards and done a walkthrough, then I do my deck interview. So that's one I use all the time. As far as deck spreads go, I will always do all of the spreads that are in any guidebook that comes with a deck. I feel like, well, these spreads were made for this deck, so let me, explore those. In general, though, I prefer only to do, I'm going to pull out a deck and flip through a deck while I talk. Sometimes, it's probably not fun just to sit there and listen to me talk. This is a Cosmos Oracle. When it comes to spreads, I prefer no more than 3 cards, really. I find spreads that have a lot of card placements just really too overwhelming for me, and they end up becoming a bit stressful, and it's just too much information for me to process. Even if I'm writing it down into a book to try and make sense of it, I have to be in a really sort of almost studious mood to want to do a really in-depth spread layout, or for instance, to be really, really bored. So I tend to stay away from multi-card spreads. So 3 card spreads tend to be, my preferred spreads. So then another one that I use a lot is the frequency daily tarot spread. So this one is a current frequency or energy I'm emitting. So what is my current energy at this time? What am I attracting with this energy? And then how can I attract more positivity and abundance? So I like to do, that's a vibe check for me, with myself. What vibes am I emitting? What energy am I throwing out? So that's one that I do like to do every now and again if I'm feeling oh, I'm not sure what I'm, attracting right now, especially if I've attracted a lot of crap. I'll be like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? And then this is a very basic 3 card spread for me. So there'll be a message. So with the 3 card spread, I just do like to have what's something I need to hear right now, so to speak. I like to have what do I need to release or let go of? What energy do I need to let go of, or what circumstance or thing should I release and let go of? And then what do I need to focus on, or what should I do more of, or what do I need to bring in? So this tends to be a typical, 3 card spread that I use a lot. But yeah, I generally like to just pull 3 cards, and they're all the message. So I'll have 1 oracle and then 2 tarots, and the oracle will sort of be the key point or the subject, and then the tarots add to that and expand it further and give it nuance and depth. So that's what I tend to do. And if it's a question, I guess it's what do I need to know today? Or, or tell me what kind of day am I going to have today? And then I'll just lay 3 cards out. But, they're all for the same message rather than individual subjects. But that's the spreads. So the next prompt is either 2 tarot habits or tarot paraphernalia. I'm just going to show you some of my bags, because I like to make bags for my tarot decks. I don't really keep them in their boxes. I'm going to show you the very first tarot bag I ever crocheted. So I learned to crochet last year just so I could make tarot bags. Made myself learn a new skill just so I could continue on making accessories for my hobby. So this is the very first bag that I made. As you can see, it is Willy Wonka-esque. It is just not even, oh, God bless that Chanel. She tried her best. She did what she could. So this is a king fiber. I love king fibers. This is one of my favorite colors. I think it's called Coral Reef. In it, I have my messages from the Heart Divine. I just wanted one that was, bright and colorful like this deck was. But yeah, this was the very first bag that I ever crocheted. I know my girlfriend was like, would you consider unraveling it and redoing it? And I'm like, nah, man, who's got the time? And nobody got time for that. I have so many bags that maybe I did too big or I messed up, but I just the thought of undoing it and doing it again, cannot. I'm sorry, my camera's moving because my cat Willow is deciding to give herself a bath right on the base of it. But I will allow her to be. I don't want to disturb her. Okay, and then I thought I'd show you one of my favorite bags that I've made. This is a dragon scale or crocodile scale. I like dragon scale. Why would you call it crocodile when you can call it dragon? This was so hard to do. I struggled a lot with this one. It was a pain in the ass, but I think it looks gorgeous, and it was for my mushroom deck. Worth it. You know what I mean? If there's any deck that I'm going to do it for, it's my mushroom deck. This one, Mushroom Oracle, my decadent deck. And I wanted to have a special baggie for it. And so I did this one. And it's one of my only yarns that is very non-variegated. As you can see, it's not really super multicolored. It's quite monotone. There is a bit of a darker red in there, but not a lot. And obviously I got a little mushroom button to go with it. But yeah, this was probably going to be the only bag I ever do, because it also like it all gets bent from being in my closet, so the scales get all dodged. But I'll probably never ever make a bag with this stitch ever again, because it was too much. It was not a fun time. I did not enjoy the process. Love the destination, didn't enjoy the journey. But yeah, I thought I'd use that one to show you. But I love making bags. It's part of my bonding with the deck. And the last question is either a piece of tarot advice, which I'm not going to give because I'm still a noob. You know, I've got imposter syndrome. I'm not, you know, an old hand at it. It's still fresh. I'm just started my journey. You know, I'm only a couple of steps in. So I'm going to do the second one, which is, it's a choice for this one, a card I wish to embody and why. So currently in my life, actually I'm going to go and get one of my favorite depictions of this card. So this deck is the Lucid Dreams Beginners Oracle. I've got it in the beige because I just found out, thanks to Bibi, that it comes in black now as well. I've got the beige, got the OG version. So Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is who I am currently hoping to embody. So I have just gone through a very sort of intense year so far. I've had lost loved ones to death. I had a long-term relationship end, and I had a severe health crisis. I'm still going through the health crisis. Some of the conditions have been put into remission. One of them, unfortunately, I'm still in the process of being treated for. So it's been rough, man. It's been real rough. And when that sort of, all that stuff happens to you, you tend to lose yourself, and you tend to get beaten down, and you tend to lose that spark, I guess, and that hope and that confidence. And I'm at the time now where we're currently in spring. Things have started finally to turn around for me. So I'm really hoping that going forward, I can tap into this really bold energy, this self-confidence, this ability to shine your light no matter the circumstance or who you're with, believing in yourself, standing up for yourself, speaking up. Also with her, she's also quite a social butterfly. And that's actually something I know, coming from a hermit, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's something I'm actually wanting to embody for once. I really want to nurture my friendships, but I also want to put myself out there in the world and meet new people. Oh my God, I feel like I'm, you know, I can't believe I'm saying that, but I do. I have room in my life. I've lost people, you know, and so there is sort of a space in my life now that I can bring new people in. I want to be filled with energy because she's the most like energetic. I think she's vibrant. She seems to exude health and vitality. She exudes charisma and this sort of also primal like sensuality and sexuality that I'm also definitely wanting to take on for myself, be a bit more of a creative soul spark, light in the dark, just really express myself. No longer sort of not command attention, but not to be so much of a wallflower. Sometimes I can get into the energy of like, don't nobody look at me, nobody see me. And I sort of just want to be invisible. But I'm like, Chanel, like you've done that for like 38 years. I think it's time to let yourself be seen, and there's vulnerability in that, obviously. But I'm, you know what? I want to step out of my comfort zone. You know, life is short, and I've done enough of this way of living that I want to try something else. You know, I want to shake things up. I want to add some pep in my step and some zest in my life. So yeah, I'm trying to embody this. And also she's a cat lady, like hello, and she's got sunflowers, which was one of my favorite flowers, and she's got this real sun energy, and I absolutely freaking love the sun. So with this spring, I want to blossom into this kind of character. You know, I want to take these qualities that are probably very hidden and buried within me and bring them up to the surface. I'm sieving for golden nuggets of, you know, a change in how I present myself to the world and how I also show up for myself, not just for others too, you know. And yeah, I want some confidence. But that is I think everything. You can tag people if you want, but I'm not gonna, because that gives me so much anxiety. I can't tag people, bruh. Like I just can't do it. I just feel like, I don't want to bother anyone, so I'm not going to tag anyone. But in saying that, I was happy to be tagged. So I have no issue with people tagging me. So it's all good, Meg. I'm very honored that you gave me a shout out to do this tag and brought it to my attention. But yeah, I'm not going to tag anyone else. But I'm sure this will make its way around. Because the creator also, Kelly, was like, it's cool. Like, you don't have to tag anyone. And I'm sure everybody will see this and want to do it because it's fun, and it's a cool idea. So well done for creating this tag. I loved it. It was different and fresh, and I haven't done a VR in a while. So that is everything. Until next time, stay wild, Star Child.